What is good, guys? We are now just under 5 weeks out to my first show, and I'm back with another video. So I am sticking to my word and getting these videos up once a week. Today is leg day. We're hitting quads today, and it is currently 7:40 and my second time videoing this intro. So for whatever reason, this microphone was not turned on and there is no sound. So amazing, fantastic. But here we are. New low weigh-in today of 73.5, which is very nice to see. Confirming of the fact that we are getting leaner. I did have a weird enough week of weigh-ins this week, or toward the back end of last week. I'm going to remember all of these numbers correctly now. So basically started off last week at 76 kilos. We were moving and grooving. By like Wednesday I was down to the 74s, like 74.9. And by Sunday I was down to 74.3. From there, body weight did start to actually come back up. So we were up to 74.9 on Monday, 74.8 on Tuesday, 74.9 again on Wednesday. But since then, things have started moving again. I did have some digestive and gut issues, like very moderate, light kind of pain. Nothing too severe, but I was constipated. Since then, we've added in some supplementation and things have seemingly got better. So what I'm going to do now is take you through my morning supplementation. We start off each day with our electrolytes, so one of these two, and I am looking at taking these with 1 litre of water and my creatine. Then got our omegas, we can see in here now, anti-inflammatory aid, very helpful and aiding of your heart health, joint health, etc, etc. Vitamin C, the list of benefits of taking vitamin C is honestly endless. Okay, I might even put up something on the screen to show just how many things vitamin C can be helpful for, but generally we're looking at something that's going to be very helpful for the immune system. These are stuff that I would generally recommend for all my clients to take in terms of health, but certainly this, if we're looking at someone who's getting sick regularly or semi-regularly, vitamin C, and then upping the dose during them windows. Same with this. Obviously vitamin D is going to be one of them supplements that we need a little bit more of when it's not sunny. Thankfully right now it is sunny, but I'll still be taking my vitamin D. Again, what we're looking at here is something that's it will aid the immune system, but also in terms of muscle contractions, we are looking at something here that can be quite helpful as it helps with calcium absorption. These are things that I've just started taking to aid my digestive health. So psyllium husk fiber has come down, of course, across prep, and with that comes just some issues in terms of digestion. So I'm just essentially ensuring that fiber stays a little bit higher. So we're taking psyllium husk, 5 grams a day, and then I've got my probiotic here, which is the main thing that I had to look for here was that I had 20 billion CFU. Okay, now what I am making now is my post-workout meal, because I like to put my cream of rice, oh yes, boom, nailed it. I like to put my cream of rice into the freezer for about an hour, just nicer. And when I come home from my morning walk, I will make my pre-workout meal. So we're going to be training a little bit later than usual today, and the reasons for that are last night yesterday was just a super busy day, so I ended up doing my cardio, starting it at 20 to 8 and finishing at 20 to 9. And I didn't fancy 7 a.m. legs off the back of one more meal last night and one more meal this morning and essentially racing around. So instead, we're going to go for a little walk, come home, have my pre-workout meal as soon as, or as close as possible to 10 a.m. because I've got just one PT to finish off my week of PTs this morning, and then I'll be perfectly ready to go for 11. We did end up buying more cream of rice. We definitely don't need it. It's the 5th one we have. But when you're in prep, or anyone will relate to this that's gone through like a diet of substance, you end up just wanting all the flavors. So I ended up making another order. I got Perform Cinnamon Donut, which is one of my favorites, and my favorite cream of rice, which is the cookie dough from Supplement Needs, which I actually haven't gotten in a little bit. Otherwise, life is good. We are moving again. No adjustments made in quite a little bit of time. I've been running essentially 1 hour of cardio for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I think. And I haven't had a food adjustment in quite some weeks, so I'm happy with that, to be honest, because food is not particularly high. But yeah, we are good. I'm very happy right now. Next clip you'll see from me is going to be in the gym training legs. So that's all to look forward to, guys. What is good, guys? It is, for full disclosure now, Sunday morning. I did absolutely no additional videoing yesterday, and I'll tell you why. I was absolutely wrote off. So legs completely wrote me off. I lay on that couch for 2 hours after legs and cardio, before getting out and getting the evening steps in. But honestly, I was smashed. Also, I went to PT yesterday morning forgetting my camera. Okay, now I did video everything on my phone, and I've been watching a good bit of Darren Mack's YouTube videos lately, and he gave me the inspiration to still be able to get these up on the YouTube. So I'll have these up here in this corner, and we'll essentially just talk through the sessions. But first, I do need my Ultra Peachy Keen. This is a flavour that becomes more and more appealing to me as summer comes into play. Okay, does anyone else have them flavours whereby with Monsters the weather changes how much they enjoy them? Anyways, this certainly goes into that category. First taste. Just how I wanted it. Right, so I'm going to have to stop myself from drinking this every couple of seconds. Anyways, we did start off the session. All right, boss woman, good morning. How are you? You all right? You don't want to be in the video? No, it's too early for else. Right, so we started off the session with hip abduction. So it is a quad focus session, but I do need to build my glutes. This off season is going to be a big one for that. So you'll see a big wellness program going into play this off season, guys. I really like this machine. Like, the glutenator is what it is when we look at the Trained by JPX Granite collab, and this is the best machine I've used. This isn't the Trained by JPX Granite one, but I do love it. I think this might be Strength Max. Why do I love this? Because it doesn't just allow for hip abduction, i.e. driving the legs outward, but it also has like a posterior action to it, where you drive out but also back, which is precisely what Glute Me does. And obviously it's going to bring in some Glute Max then as well. So yeah, definitely the best I've used. I haven't used the Granite XJ Trained by JP collab, but I'm under the assumption that that's going to be the same or better. In terms of the next movement, we do have hip adduction. The last time I did a video on the AKA method page, I did go through just some of my general thoughts on this. But one of the things that I never did before the last maybe year and a half, 2 years, is really train my adductors in a more isolation based fashion. Like, I always saw my hip extension like hinges, RDLs, stuff like that as doing a lot for the adductors, especially as you get deeper, and my squatting patterns as you get deeper, because the adductors are strong hip extenders in deep hip flexion. But since I've been adding in like direct adductor work, my adductors have come up quite a bit. And what that essentially has provided me is just the illusion of bigger thighs from the front, or bigger legs from the front. Okay. Actually, within this session, Mr. Jack Thornton came up to me during PT and said to me, "Are you training legs after this?" And I said, "I am." And he said, "Let's do it together." So we went our own ways to start the session, because we had some pieces that were different, but we both had, I think he had 8 sets of quads, I had 8 sets of quads, and he just followed my session from there. So after that, what we had was leg extensions. You will see me using the hustler pad. The hustler pad, essentially what that does is it allows you to go back deeper than the machine will otherwise let you. So you get more of a stretch on the quads. Okay. I recently saw a video where someone was suggesting that because you're using the hustler pad, you're making a lengthened focused movement, when that's still not really the case, because where the challenge is going to be greatest is in the is in the shortest position, and you will fail in the shortest position. So my opinion on this would be that if you had that additional range available, it's likely that you're going to benefit from using it. Doesn't mean you have to. If you want it to be even more short and focused, because obviously you're going to provide more challenge to the stretch position, otherwise you wouldn't do it. But you can still see where I'm going to be failing is going to be short. Okay, so big thing with the leg extension is ensuring to pause at the top. Okay, and again, how you do a movement as well as how it's set up is ultimately going to determine where you feel it most. So if I was to drive hard out of the stretch position, build up like momentum, I'm not going to have to use as much force as I come toward the top to get there. But if you are using like controlled concentrics and pausing at the top, the load is still going to be as heavy at the top. Okay. Anyways, that is a little bit of science for today. But anyway, pivot leg press is next. This is my squat press, Cybex squat press. I just call it a pivot. Okay, this is my favorite leg press of all time. The range that I get, the orthopedic benefit, and what I mean by orthopedic benefit is how good it feels on my knees and my hips, is genuinely next to none. Okay, there's no leg press that allows me to use the range that I use with the control that I can use here, get as close to failure while keeping me healthy like this. So big W's all around. I am using a pad on the back of my head, and honestly the only reason I am using that is to ensure that I'm not driving my head forward and back, because I was doing that a few weeks ago where my head was coming forward as I'd come to the bottom. I just want to keep everything stacked there. Okay, just be more stable and in position. So it's almost just reinforcement to positional maintenance. We had 2 sets on that. I did 250 for 9 and then 230 for 9. So I was up a rep in my top set, down a rep in my back off set, because it was 8 and 10 last week. So we'll take the wins and the L's with that one. Okay. After that, we do have the squat pattern of the day. For a lot of people, they would do this in essentially the reverse order, whereby you start with your squat pattern, then you go to your leg press, then your leg extension. I have had issues with my knees over the course of the last few years, else I turned it off. There you go. I have had issues with my knees over the past few years, right? So one of the things, well, it was when I'd go into my squat pattern first that I would get these, and maybe the sheer force at the bottom, the load that I had to use to get a good stimulus, or whether it was just my knees weren't warmed up enough. All of them things together, I'm sure, are factors that led to my knees being that bit sore. But since we have switched things essentially in the opposite order, it's just been better. And whilst you might think, right, your squat pattern first is where you're going to get the best bang for your buck, the most growth promoting thing that you can do, where the highest raw stimulus is. I agree with that. But for me, right, and for a lot of people, not everyone, I would say maybe 20-25% of people I work with, I'll do this. The benefit of having it in the way that I have it now, in terms of longevity, my ability to stay in the game, my ability to progress week on week on week for a long time, far outweighs the benefits of going the more traditional route with it, and the cost associated with that of having shitty sessions like twice a month, okay? And the effect that it will have on me in terms of, let's say, going into sessions, how confident I'm going to be of getting through that session. Next up, we do have the sissy squat, variation on the Magnum horizontal or lying leg press. I'm going to shorten this video for the sake of time, but this was like a 2.5 minute set. I'll probably show a few reps from the start where things move really, fast and fluidly, and then just a few reps from the end. Essentially with this, right, with a normal sissy, you're looking to keep full hip extension throughout the movement. And with this, I'm essentially coming down into a squat pattern, and then just at the bottom, letting my hips tuck in under me a little bit to allow me to get a little bit more range. But also what that does is it extends us at the hip a little bit more, and therefore I'm going to get a little bit more rectus femoris, which is a long muscle that goes straight down the center of the quad. So it was 2 sets of abduction, 2 sets of adduction, 2 sets of leg extension, 2 sets of pivot leg press, 2 sets on the swing, and 2 sets on the Magnum lying / horizontal leg press, which looks quite like a hack squat if you're being honest, right? Overall, quite a productive session. Yeah, it was a pretty productive session. Like, I'm obviously not in a position where I'm growing session to session now. I'm not in a position where I'm going to be progressing all the time. So when I see myself getting the same numbers, I'm happy. And I think I talked about it last week, whereby, in my top set on the swing, I was down a rep this week. I was up in my back offset. But basically, once I'm staying within that boundary of like 1 rep plus or minus matching, whatever it is, I'm going to be happy enough, because performance in the gym is always going to be like at a percentage of what you can possibly do, okay? So if you're down a rep this week, it's not that you're getting weaker or you've lost less muscle. You just didn't perform as well as you did last week, okay? And there's so many variables that can go into that. I'm probably 1.5 kilos lighter than I was this time last week. But like, let's say I was seeing that for multiple sessions back to back to back. Bit more of a concern and something to consider. But we won't freak out about anything right now. Tissue maintenance, as you know, is the aim of the game. In terms of then, after that, I did have an hour cardio, which was quite difficult considering how my legs were. So I had to go for a bit of a walk before I ultimately got into that session. And yeah, otherwise, anything else I want to discuss, I guess I am at that point now with my body where it's a little bit leaner than it wants to be. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. Some people are naturally very lean. I'm sure there's going to be some people watching this that are of that type, and growing is going to be a little bit more difficult. Whereas for others, if you tend to hold on to a little bit more body fat, I always think back to like when you're a teen and how you kind of are there. It can give you some clues as to what type of person you naturally kind of tend to drive toward. But yeah, I'm definitely a little bit leaner than I want to be right now. Well, not that I want to be, than my body wants to be. And it is a little bit more of a push, everyone's going to have one side that's a little bit more challenging. Like from the end of my growing phase, like that wasn't very challenging for me to do. Okay, I could do that all day. So this side is that little bit more tricky for me, but that is bodybuilding. Okay, everyone's going to have, something that they find a little bit easier, something that they find a little bit harder. What is super important is, regardless of which one of them camps you do fall into, that you do what you need to do regardless, okay? So yeah, that's where we are now. We're going into that. I'm probably touching upon uncharted territory in terms of leanness. I mean, I did a photo shoot a few years ago. I never took off like I never wore trunks when I was doing my shots or anything, so I don't know. I haven't seen my glutes before, so it's hard to truly know. But I do know for my midsection, I think I'm at least as tight now, and with like 5 weeks to go, that is quite exciting. So it's going to be a fun journey. It's going to be a fun journey. The rest of the day, what are we doing today? We're going shopping now? Yeah. I'm going to go shopping now. Food shop. Might show you a bit of that. Won't bring you around on the food shop though. Then we're going to come back. We are going to go do cardio. We're going to go do some, I'll do abs. I'll do abs on a rest day. Then we'll do posing. Then we'll do cardio. Then we'll come back, probably grab a bite to eat, go for a walk. Anything else you want to do other than what we're doing tonight?
Sauna tonight.
Yeah, we're going to the sauna tonight. So we try to go once a week to the sauna, Treehouse Sauna. An absolutely amazing experience on a Sunday, rest day, help recharge the batteries. We usually go like morning/midday, but there was no spaces available. So we're going to be going tonight. Anyways, that is it for me now. I've chatted enough waffle. See you in the next one. Well, it's good, guys. We're just back from our shop and I'm going to take you through that shop now. So anyone in prep or anyone that is dieting, you'll know that one of the actual benefits of that is you have to buy less food in comparison to your growing or massing phases, right? So literally, like, I've got all the stuff here that we're going to be putting into the fridge. This is for me and else. This came to a total of €122 in Duns, but not just this. I'll bring you to the rest in a minute, but €122. And that was after our Duns vouchers from last week and putting our bottles in the recycling bin. So what we have here is 6 packets of chicken, 450 grams per packet, and that does us Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday morning. I go and get the rest of that. We've got 1 packet of turkey breast rashers. That does me, I need 4 of them a week, so 2 per rest day. So today, salmon, 20 eggs. We've got more eggs already. I've got 1 packet of Monster. We're going to top up and get another one Monster in Tesco, the Land on Earth. They don't do it there. We got our mixed peppers, frozen mixed peppers, which at the minute have been very hard to get. So anyone that's been looking to get frozen mixed peppers will know that there's essentially been a famine as of late, so whatever that's about. We've got Greek yogurt, that's for Els, raspberries, strawberries, 3 packets of blueberries, because blueberries are essentially the most used food by myself at the minute. 4 packets of broccoli, that'll do me up to Thursday, and spinach for Els. Over here we just have some top-ups, okay? So we've the ketchup zero, we've got the Red Hot Frank's Red Hot Wings buffalo sauce, peanut butter, we've got 1 decaf, 1 espresso roast here, the Starbucks Blonde. We've already got plenty here as well, so that alone won't do me for the week, but that plus them there will. Bananas for Els, we've got sourdough bagel slims. I got 2 of them a week, and then we had these over here that we had to get extra, so they came to like 10-12 quid, so you can take 10-12 quid off of that too. In here we already have a couple of, this is actually quite empty, but we've got some bagels, some bananas, pasta, oats. Yeah, I basically have no carbs other than my oats and cream of rice at the minute, so hence why I don't really need that press right now. Otherwise in here we already have a lot of the stuff that we just bought. I'm not getting into a position where I run out. Essentially we've got 2 of the peanut butter squeezies. We've got another peanut butter that's just there if we are in a very dire straits. I don't use this right now, but I might after prep. Els does use it. Haven't been using these sweet chilies since pasta's gone. We'll use this. What's in behind that? Never used that, but it's there. We've got our salt. We've got, you know, that sort of stuff there. So otherwise we have to go to Tesco to get 1 or 2 more bits. What are we getting? Pesto for Els, Monster. It's all for you. It's essentially is all for her, because the Lando Norris Monster is the one that agrees best with her stomach. It's just a little bit less carbonated. So yeah, but not to say I won't be taking some of them. It is my favorite too. And then she needs dark chocolate, and yeah, we said pesto. Sweet potato too. So that is the food shop. As I said, we already have some stuff. and a lot of what I need is my cream of rice and oats, which we got. I'm very broke up. I didn't realise quite how broke up I was this morning, but my lower back is quite sore, where I injured it last year in the car crash, so not great. And that is, I think, what the issue is also with my hamstring. So it's my left lower back and then into my left hamstring is absolutely killing me this morning. Did pop up during posterior this week and made worse by legs yesterday, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Either way, we are going now to do abs, posing and cardio, so hopefully I can get through that. After that, steps o'clock, meals interspersed into regular intervals in between, and a walk, and I might meet the old lad for a cup of cha or a cup of coffee before treehouse tonight. Not much football on today, you know that? Not much football on today. Not good. Not good. Shout out to Nice GA on a big W last night. We went down. That's where we got our steps. Anyways, I am going to Love and Leave You. It is a okay Sunday. I imagine as the day progresses, it will get nicer, given how the last few days have been. Right, that is it from me. See you in the next one. Our stocked up fridge. Els says wait till later because it's not fully stocked up. We need to get, what do we need to get? 4 more monsters to fill this gap. We need to get, there's nothing else going in here, you mad thing. There's actually nothing else going in here. Anyways, pesto. Oh, we need to fill this gap here. We've got all our greens in here. Frozen down here, we won't go in there because it's too cold, lads. Yogurt's up there. I haven't touched any of them Cokes in weeks. I just haven't bothered. Digestion and all that. And then we've got the boys on here. We've had that before. We've got our bits and bobs in here. And we've got our bobs and bits in here. Aim now, finish off making this meal, and then we are actually out of here. Oh boys, I needed this so badly. It is 6:28 in the evening. All check-ins are complete. Training is done. Cardio is done. All PTs are complete as well. And now I am essentially just waiting for Els to come home from the gym so that we can do our little walk, go on our loop and hit my last 4K for the day. So I've strategically placed myself at 9,000 steps so that when we come home, we do that loop, we sit down, we have our ice cream, we watch United win against Brentford and go to bed happy. But that is not why I'm coming on here now. I had a chat with someone in the gym today and they asked me a question, which is a question that has come up time and time again as of late, like, you know, twice, 3 times a week in the gym or whatever. And the question is, are you going to stay natural or are you going to go enhanced after the shows or maybe anytime in the future? And to be honest, guys, my answer has never changed. The answer is no. I'm going to remain as a natural bodybuilder. You know, ultimately when I look at bodybuilding, what I get from bodybuilding now is the same thing I would get from being an enhanced bodybuilder. Okay, just minus the risk. The risk isn't even something that I've actually paid that much attention to. The thing that I pay attention to is why I do this. Okay, what is my reason for doing this? And it is the ability to go after something, you know, have a big goal and ultimately to progress toward that goal or just to progress in general. Okay, I think it's so important that everyone essentially has something. Doesn't have to be related to sport, it can be work related, it could be travel related, whatever it is, but something that, you know, they really enjoy, that gets them up in the morning, that they work toward and drives happiness into them. Okay, and bodybuilding is that thing for me. But what it is it about bodybuilding that ultimately gives me that? Okay, it is simply the ability to progress. It's the ability to progress as a coach. It's the ability to progress as an athlete. And that would not change if I became enhanced. So that would be the same thing. The same thing directing and driving my happiness then would be the same thing directing and driving my happiness now. The goalposts would just shift, okay? Because when we look at achieving satisfactory progress, that is based on what your expectation for your outcome is versus your actual outcome, okay? And if I went enhanced, I would just expect more. And, you know, obviously I would get more, but ultimately it wouldn't change what it does for me, what it gives me. You know, for me, it's not about like, and the reality is a lot of my friends, a lot of the people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis, a lot of the bodybuilding that I watch, probably more of the bodybuilding I watch because it is just more interesting. It is non-tested or it is enhanced, okay? It's just cooler, it's just better. It's there's more to see. And it's like in any sport, okay? Like if we look in powerlifting, okay? Those who powerlift naturally, I probably couldn't even name well, actually I can, of course. I couldn't name a natural powerlifter, you know, at all. And I'm sorry if you're a powerlifter, I really couldn't name a single natural powerlifter. But I can name a couple of enhanced ones. Why? Because it's cooler. Because it's, you know, you're seeing more weight being lifted. It's, you know, there's just something about it that is something that you know you could never do, but there's people there doing it. And, you know, that is really cool. But anyways, back to my point. As I was saying, my goalposts would just shift. What I would expect and the results that I would get would be shifted. And I honestly get what I want out of natural bodybuilding. And for me, natural bodybuilding right now is a huge part of my life. Okay, it is a massive part of my life as a coach again, and as an athlete myself. And my aim is to build my name in the natural bodybuilding scene and to take athletes to places that otherwise they would not be able to get to in natural bodybuilding. And then when it comes to myself, you know, I am just my own little experiment. What can I achieve with my own physique? When I spend years learning about this, spend years putting it into practice, what is my ceiling? Okay, we all hear about the natural, you know, limits that may or may not be in place. That's a discussion for another day. But ultimately, how far can I take this myself? Again, that is something that if I was enhanced, just goes further. And again, it's not a slight on any of them guys. Fucking love yous. But the reality is, I know what I want from this. I wish, I'm sure lots of people do. They have other reasons why they would do this. I remember chatting to someone recently who was like, I want to get to the Olympia. I want to do, you know, all this. I want to do all that. That's what drives them. That is not what drives me. That is not what drives me. And also, I appreciate my own, like, you know, my own potential. And I wouldn't be anywhere near there. All right. So yeah, it will never be about any awards I win or actually, you know, the physique in terms of how big I could get on steroids. Like that stuff just does not do anything for me. It's not like what if I did that, or if only I did that. Like, am I gonna be 40, 45 years old and go, maybe if we did this, you know, you never know what could have happened. I have no interest. But what I have a lot of interest in is what I can do with myself as a natural bodybuilder. And then in terms of natural bodybuilding, building a roster of athletes, taking them to places they otherwise would not have got to, winning whatever we can win, and just cementing my name in natural bodybuilding. Okay, that is the aim. So yeah, it's not on the cards. Will I say never say never? No, because I'm quite an open person. I'm not someone that, I wouldn't consider myself closed minded. I would not say never say like never. But the reality is right now, and honestly, I can't foresee it happening. It's simply not on the cards. Okay. So I think if more people spend time understanding what's going to make them happy, why they're doing what they're doing, especially when it comes to such a big decision like this, I think they'd be in a great position. And if you can ask yourself them questions, and the answer is, it still aligns with going on gear, amazing. Best of luck. You have your why. But I think it's an important question to ask yourself, guys. And I think it's important that you do your due diligence in that regard. I know I've done mine. Anyways, decent session today. I felt very, very, very preppy during it. Like I was like, oh. But numbers wise, we're actually good. Like not progressing really, but good numbers. Maintaining where we are. And I was probably like 2 kilos up this day last week. So to see that come true, we'll take it. Now, one more thing. The very last thing we will go through is my physique shots from today, which I will just pop up on the screen and talk about through my photos. So I am overall, it's weird, guys. Anyone who's competed or has done photo shoots before or whatever, and you're prepping and you're taking your photos or whatever, you can really get into your own head. And like, I'm not like mad happy with my photos today, but what I did then was I compared them to like a month ago, and I was like, fuck, I actually have made sick progress over the last month. And last month I thought I was okay, so I think I'm probably just that sort of person at the minute that is just expecting more, wanting more all the time. A little bit ungrateful in that regard. Anyways, front relaxed is looking pretty good, isn't it? Quads look good. Striations through vastus lateralis, the outside portion of the quad is pretty cool. Delts are capped. Lats are okay. Lower body, or lower abdominal region, still a little bit of fat there. I don't think that's going to be gone. I've come to that conclusion at this point. I think my glutes could be in before that. But yeah, it's okay. I need to sort out my side relax. I was posing them better a month ago. I'm a lot leaner now, but yeah, I need to sort them out. Back relaxed. Hamstrings are coming in nicely. Glutes are well boxed off. A few lines coming through them now. They're actually not like small, which is nice. They're definitely an area I need to bring up. I don't think I'll get like, I feel like they're not going to be small, but I'm not sure if they're going to be like crisp. Okay, I think it's a muscle quality thing. We'll see. I won't show you guys my front double bicep because I'm currently working on it with Alan, and the pictures I took today were not what he asked me to do. I can safely say that. My front lat spread is one of my strongest poses. I'm very happy with that. Quads look good, lats look good, delts look good, arms look pretty good, which is an area that we've been working on. So I've had a lot of volume for arms relative. So yeah, happy with that. Side chest looks good. One thing I'm working on with this is pulling my front shoulder back. One issue with that at the moment is as I do that, I'm driving my elbow back, which I don't want to do. So that needs to be fixed. My side tricep needs a little bit of work. Basically, right, what's happened is with Matt, we've thrown in a transition from the lat spread into the side chest, and it's kind of thrown me off at the minute, and I'm hitting them shots better when I don't do that, so I kind of need to figure that one out. Back wasn't my best day at the office today, admittedly. I'm quite stiff. I've got physio tomorrow, so hopefully that helps out there. It's the same with the back lat spread. It's okay, but not great. Glutes are getting better, but they've got a long way to go. And then when we come to abs and thigh, it's okay. Little pouches holding on for dear life. Most muscular is good, guys, right? Most muscular is a good shot, to be fair. I'm definitely better from the front. And obviously with the car crash last year, my rear was always behind, okay? My hamstrings, glutes were behind. My back wasn't so much. It is a little bit now. But so when I take these shots from the front, I'm pretty good. But as I was saying, sorry, my rear was behind then. It's a little bit further behind now, I would say, which is cool because that's what off seasons are for. We've got we've got the crab, most muscular, and we've got the hands on hips. When I do the hands on hips, I kind of lose my delt, so that might not make an appearance. One thing we are looking at though, guys, is with the most muscular, going with more of a straight leg. Now the issue with this is it takes away the shape a little bit. But what I do get, I've got some nice striations on the outer part, the vastus lateralis there. So I'm kind of like, what do we do? We're going to hold off and we'll see what the next few weeks bring us. But yeah, keep an eye out on that one, guys. Otherwise, that is the end of today's video. Okay, thank you for watching if you've watched this far. I think this is a decent video. Next time you see me, I will be probably 4 weeks out. 4 weeks out. You know what? I'll shoot this week's video on the road to Nebula, okay? So we're going down to Nebula in Gorey this weekend for AJ Morris is coming over to give a seminar. My posing coach, Matt, is actually there as well. So on the spot, I'm just thinking, let's do that. And that's usually also lower body day. But I think me and the lads, me, Jack and Kaio, might be running an upper body session. So I might just flip-flop my upper and lower that week. Which is fine because I've only got quads once a week at the minute. So, if there's usually 6 days in between them, 5 is going to be okay. They're recovered by Wednesday anyways. So, right. That's what the next video will be. That's to look forward to. I am really bad at saying this. If you've made it this far, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let's help me to grow this page. You can see now I am on it. I am doing my best with the content. So help out your boy. Okay? Chat to you soon, guys. Thank you for watching.